you. I have an unidentified Force user.
Jedi are being murdered.
I didn't do it! Please believe me!
I sense something dark.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. The Star Wars people just posted a bunch of opening scenes from Acolyte Episode 1 and a ton of extra footage of all the characters, giving us way more clues about what's really going on. I've already got a few theories, too. I'll be doing episode videos for the series, so if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything. But the scene starts with the evil sister, who, thanks to another trailer they released in some subtitles that we got a peek at, we've learned are twin sisters. May is meant to be the titular Acolyte character and seeks to become the next Sith apprentice, is the one going around killing all the Jedi. Her sister, the good twin, Osha, who you see in the other footage wearing what looks like pilot's gear, is running from the Jedi, saying that she wasn't the person that killed all these other Jedi. They have the wrong person. Because it was her twin, unless she really is May pretending to be her sister. But during this opening scene, I've been calling Carrie-Anne Moss's Indara Jedi Master character the Ned Stark of the series because it seems like she actually gets killed during this fight. She's meant to be this total badass. You get all kinds of Matrix kung fu fight scenes when they're going at each other until she whips out her lightsaber. Ever since the prequels, they really started to try and evolve the way that Jedi fight scenes go down. Like, the fight scenes during the prequels are meant to be more like they were during the High Republic era because you're seeing traditional Jedi fighting styles. By the time that Luke Skywalker comes around, most of the Jedi are gone, so he does not learn the traditional Jedi fighting styles, and he's way more raw until after the events of Return of the Jedi. By then, he starts to learn more about the traditional Jedi ways because he's trying to rebuild the Jedi Academy. The real reason why you don't see the Jedi during the prequels or during the Clone Wars episodes doing a lot of martial arts fighting is just because they didn't think of doing that during that period. Like, George Lucas wasn't thinking about doing Jedi martial arts during that. It's like explaining why Grogu wasn't in the prequel movies or Ahsoka wasn't in the prequel movies because she wasn't created till later. But it's a great fight scene, and even though they ended before anything really bad happens, look at the other trailers. May here uses the Force to pick up the lightsaber from the floor. The floor itself looks like it's the same bar that they're fighting in this moment here. In the hilt, looks like Indara's lightsaber hilt. So everybody press F to pay respects to Carrie-Anne Moss's Indara. There's several other Jedi they show throughout the trailers, both before the deed goes down and then after, with May just going around hunting them all. Then they start the murder mystery investigation as the Jedi learn what's happening. They start going around trying to find out who's behind all this. We get the footage of Lee Jung-jae's Jedi Master character Sol, who most people remember from Squid Game. He thinks it's his former Padawan May who's killing everyone. They track her down, but find that it's actually the twin sister Osha. This scene here of the Jedi having the quote-unquote wrong culprit feels just like the plot from the Wrong Jedi episode of the Clone Wars. That was the infamous episode where Ahsoka is wrongly blamed by the Jedi Council and, as a result of their betrayal, decides to quit the Jedi Order and go off on her own. She did eventually meet up with Anakin Skywalker again before Order 66. That's all covered during the Clone Wars Season 7 episodes to explain what happened to her when that was all going down. And what it seems like the Acolyte creators might be doing with these twin sisters is setting up a major twist that eventually leads to the birth of Anakin Skywalker as the Chosen One, like the prophecy of the One to bring balance to the Force is a result of what happens during the Acolyte series. And like I said earlier, what also might be happening here, because they're creating a lot of soap opera tropes with people pretending to be their twins, what might be happening in some of these scenes is May, the former Padawan of Soul, might at times be pretending to be her sister, Osha, because they're twin sisters, identical twins, so that she can throw the Jedi off her scent. During the flashbacks, we see what looks like Master Soul coming to their village and takes May after she's found to be Force sensitive. I think the idea is that her sister Osha is not, or they sense something is different about her and they don't take her sister, so she stays behind. It looks like there's some sort of tragic event that winds up causing May to turn against the Jedi, or is implied to turn against the Jedi. She then pursues the dark side, tries to join the Sith, becomes the dark side acolyte. They said the series was partially inspired by the Kill Bill movie, with May going around trying to revenge kill all the Jedi she used to train with. During these other scenes too, it seems like she's trying to take Indara's lightsaber and the Jedi are trying to take it back from her. It might just be part of her initiation, maybe it has something to do with her crafting her own Sith lightsaber, because that's one of the ways Sith craft their lightsabers. In order to construct a lightsaber, you need a kyber crystal, like the Force crystal that actually powers the blade itself. But there are no red lightsaber crystals, so the way the Sith actually make their red lightsabers is they take a kyber crystal from a Jedi's lightsaber and then bleed it red, like pour all their hate, all their anger, negative emotions into it, bleeding it red. So that might also be one of the reasons why she's going around killing these Jedi, because she needs one of their kyber crystals. There's also separate footage of that new Sith Master activating their lightsaber on the rocks here as May approaches, which I think is confirmation that May is not the person under the helmet. Notice they're both in this jungle fight scene here too, with all the Jedi versus that one Sith who shows up and seemingly stomps all of them. Now maybe both of the twins are Force sensitive, but there's something about the Osha character that's different and the Jedi didn't want to take her, like she tapped into the Force in a slightly different way, or maybe she was dark side leaning, or something about her just felt off and the Jedi didn't want to take her. Maybe she was Force sensitive, but they felt like she wasn't up to the Jedi's standards. In their story, and what the Jedi are doing during this period might cause the Force to be thrown out of balance, then creating the need for the One to be born, Anakin Skywalker, causing the living Force to create him eventually. George Lucas's comments on the prophecy, especially when the prequels came out, was saying that he wanted to show the light side of the Force had grown too strong in the galaxy and needed to be balanced by the dark, thus the ultimate destruction of the Jedi Order, tipping the scales back to neutral. And a big part of this series is reframing sort of the way people think about the dark side of the Force and the true nature of the Force itself, like both the light side and the dark side, just two sides of a coin. If you've only seen the movies in the past, the movies typically portray the dark side as being something that evil people use, making it seem like the dark side is just purely evil itself. But the dark side itself is not evil, it's just a totally different way of tapping into the Force that is used by evil people to do evil things. It's sort of like saying a sword is evil, but a sword can't be evil, it's just an object that is used by evil people or good people. Really good example of this and showing the dichotomy is the Bendu character during Star Wars Rebels. He practices both the light side and the dark, and ultimately because he accesses the full spectrum of the Force, it makes him way more powerful than any Jedi or any Sith. For those of you asking about Darth Plagueis, Palpatine, Darth Tenebris, the creator did say that we would see some special named Sith Lords that were from the canon during the series at some point, so I think that is confirmation that we'll see a version of Darth Plagueis eventually. They also confirmed that we would eventually see Palpatine show up, or a younger version of Palpatine, but the way they talk about it made it seem like it wasn't going to be Season 1, it might not be till like Season 2 or Season 3, or however long the show winds up running. This series is meant to take place about 100 years before Phantom Menace, and by those events, Palpatine is in his 50s, meaning that they'd have to have some sort of flash forward at the end of this series to his birth. They could do a couple time jumps, or there could be Force visions to Palpatine eventually showing up, or Anakin Skywalker, like the One, eventually being born. But the idea is the main characters seem like they're human with normal lifespans, so if May is still around when Palpatine is born, she'd be in her 70s, so it is technically possible, but the whole idea of the Sith is that you can't become the next Sith Master unless you kill the previous one, and the same thing with the Apprentice. Rule of Two says that there can only be one master and one apprentice at any given time. So also, in order to become the next apprentice, if there is one at the moment, you have to kill that one to replace them. generally just means that there's a really short lifespan on a lot of Sith characters. But if there's any other Easter eggs or references that you spotted in the footage that I didn't talk about in this video or my previous trailer videos, just write them below in the comments. And like I said, we'll probably get some more footage before episode 1, episode 2 gets here, but I'll start posting my episode videos after they begin releasing them. Big reminder too, House of the Dragon Season 2 episode's also starting very soon. Click here for the new trailer for that, and click here for that new Deadpool and Wolverine Shut Off Your Phones fourth wall break. Very first fourth wall break for the Wolverine character ever. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.